The one truth that nobody wants to hear is that business has its cycles. And this we realize the hard way, because there are times you're making money, there are times you're making much less than what you usually make, and there are times you're going to make actually nothing. And there are actually times you're also going to go make losses. Business has its cycles. Sometimes you realize, for instance, if guys are selling the heavy clothes, you'll realize that during the summer period, they're not making any money or making way little than they used to make. It's the same for the kind of business we are running. Sometimes you find that the demand for chicken is really high. Sometimes it plummets all the way down. So that's the reality of business, and that's something we've had to deal with. Yeah.
This is very factual. Business has its cycles. Whether you sell Mtumba clothes in Gikomba or free-range chickens in Karen, you have to understand the rhythm of your market. Otherwise, you will struggle to manage your cash flow. At the highest level, the entire Kenyan economy moves through seasons of expansion and contraction. This is mostly due to interest rates and the value of the currency. Then there's the seasonal cycles like December and January. But there is an internal life cycle, which is the journey of every SME. Esther, how does this journey look like?
What you're describing is known as the S-curve. Businesses like Wahome's typically go through 4 stages. The first stage is called the launch stage. At this stage, the business has just been launched. There isn't much money coming in, and most of the money that comes in is eaten up by expenses. At this stage, the entrepreneur takes time to learn about what works for them, what products to focus on, and they learn a lot about themselves. The second stage of a business is known as the growth stage. So this is a good stage. At this stage, there's a lot of money coming in, there's a lot of revenue coming in. The entrepreneur has learned what works and what doesn't. And it's at this stage that the business owner needs to learn to put in systems to manage their growth. After this stage, the third stage is called the maturity stage. At the maturity stage is also called a plateau stage. Now, at this stage, money is still coming in. However, the growth is not as high as that was in the second stage. So at this stage, if a business is not looking at what can be done to improve them, they go into a fourth stage where it can either be renewal. By renewal, I mean the business needs to compete with new market entrants, or the business can go into decline where the business now needs to close down. So it's very important as a business owner to understand where in this cycle your business is and adapt so that your business is able to survive in the long term.
I bet a lot of businesses have gone through those cycles without having any kind of conscious insight. You realize your business is not performing well as it should, and you're left wondering what to do. What is important is not to be discouraged. The fact is, this is a collective reality of many businesses. This should only challenge you to observe patterns and shift accordingly. The best way to do this is first, learning how to keep accurate business records. By keeping digital records, you can look at 12 months of data and say, I know May is slow. Why don't I reduce poultry stock in April to save on feed costs? Which is where tools like BizKit come in. With such data as stock reports, sales reports, profit and loss statements, BizKit gives you a 360 view of your business. And navigating through such cycles only becomes a matter of looking at historical data and knowing what to do in every season. That is how you become a market master. What are some of the cycles in your business? Let us know in the comments.